cryptic humility.
Hello guys, and welcome back to episode 10 of Cryptic Humility. My name is Vanessa Hurley, I'm your host and guide, and today we are going to be talking about the crypto reserves that are in motion. I am so excited. I know this past Friday, which I believe was 3/7, March 7th, Trump had a crypto summit at the White House with Coinbase, Kraken, and other top companies in crypto to discuss eventually creating, which is now in motion, crypto reserves. But first, we have a plethora of things to talk about. So the majority and purpose of this podcast is to raise awareness against fraud, scammers, pyramid schemes, and if you listen to my first episode, I talk about my first experience with a scammer and a fraud scheme in actually the FX market, and it soon evolved and spiked my interest into the crypto market, and realizing that there are a lot of scams and frauds happening in the crypto market as well. I have kind of made it my mission over the last 6 years to learn, educate myself, and now teach people effectively about both markets. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is that there is a lot to talk about in regards to scammers nowadays. I had just started getting my content out there on YouTube and on TikTok, and I'm going to share with you guys on the screen a lot of comments that you might get from scammers, and it's honestly just kind of sad. You know when like scammer phone calls call you, like fraud phone calls, or what's the word, like these telemarketers, when telemarketers call you on the phone and you just know that it's just a bunch of bullshit. Like, same thing goes for all these comments that I'm showing on the screen to you guys. It's just so blatantly obvious that this stuff is not legit. But unfortunately, if you're younger and you're interested in getting involved in crypto and FX, and we don't really have a community, if you will, of people that can educate you correctly or teach you correctly, yet at least, it is so easy to fall into the fraud schemes and the pyramid schemes and all the schemes that are happening in the FX market and now crypto. So I'm very excited to talk today about the crypto reserves. I know also we need to touch upon our series that we have been doing, and if you have not been following along, this series that has been in motion has been all the crypto lawsuits that the SEC has put in place against Coinbase, against Kraken, against Binance, which we're going to be talking about Binance today. And let me tell you, like, Coinbase was just a little hiccup, but for Binance, for sure, we're going to be doing some deep diving into their lawsuit because it is pretty intense, the allegations that are up. So obviously we'll talk about current news at the end. It is currently Sunday. If you're listening to this on Monday, I hope you're having a great day. I hope I can make it better, as I always say. But without further ado, let's kind of get into the reserves, U.S. reserves. So if you're new, you kind of understand why the U.S. has reserves, what reserves we might have. And then we'll start talking about the crypto reserves, which I think a lot of you will be pleasantly surprised to find out. I feel like I can't talk today. I've started so much already, and we have so much to talk about, but we'll be talking about some things that I think you guys would be happy to hear in regards to the crypto reserves. It's very interesting, and I like the motion that Trump has in place, the strategy he has in place for this. Let's do it. Okay, so as we are talking about U.S. reserves, what exactly are U.S. reserves? So, just like the U.S. might have a hurricane, or we might have a tsunami, which, very low chance, but bear with me. If we have a natural disaster, if we go into war, if we're in a national crisis in regards to debt, which is ironic because we're kind of experiencing that right now, but we have U.S. reserves. So our U.S. reserves can be oil, they could be petroleum, they could be gold, for example, silver, for example. And actually, fun fact, the United States has the largest gold reserve around the entire globe. I was reading into it, and right here it says we have 8 metric tons, just about 8 metric tons, which was recorded in January of 2023. I also looked back on a statistic in 2021 and saw the gold reserves were roughly around the same. So I'm making a educated guess, if you will, that in 2025 currently the U.S. reserves for gold are roughly around the same. And obviously in the video I will fact check that for you guys so you always have a live proof of the evidence I'm presenting. But so the US reserves specific assets that could help us in times of crisis. And in the past, especially like in World War II with other countries and potentially facing, which I'm not putting this out there, but there has been speculation and worry of potentially reaching a World War III, which hopefully we will never reach a World War III. But in saying that, it's important that we have reserves in place. It's important that we have assets that could benefit us through times of struggle and hardship and times of suffering, if you will, throughout our country, if we're going through a recession and stuff like that. So what Trump is trying to do is he's now trying to convert from tangible reserves and assets to digital assets like crypto. Also, before we get into crypto, like I said, if we're having an economical crisis, if you will, if we're in a serious recession, if we're in like a depression of some sort, then our resources and our reserves should be able to sustain us and help us kind of collateralize, hopefully over collateralize the sacrifice or the natural disaster or the suffering or the economic struggle that the country is facing. So it's also a hedge against inflation too, if you will. So if we're experiencing huge amounts of inflation, which again is sounding pretty relatable right now. If we are experiencing heavy amounts of inflation, then also our reserves can help us. If we're looking to make allies, our reserves can help us. If we're looking to make business negotiation, our resources and our reserves can help us. And also, for example, if we are in conflict with another country who might provide us with assets or reserves that we're necessarily low on or that we have to import into our country, it's important to hold on to these items if we can, to make sure that we remain stable as an economy, as a country, as the human race in general. So US reserves are super important, and we, like I said, I gave you guys some examples. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. We also store medical supplies and like emergency supplies too through times of crisis. So that's like, for example, if we're experiencing a pandemic, which unfortunately we experienced one in 2020, but if we are experiencing a pandemic, it's so important to have a reserve of medical supplies, a reserve of medical resources. If we don't have these items and we experience a pandemic, we're not going to be prepared. It's just to say, if you are having a business, to have an emergency fund. So let's say that COVID does happen or a pandemic does happen again, if you will, you're going to be prepared because you have that emergency fund. You have those reserves, if you will, to protect you against what's to come. So that's exactly what the US does with its reserves. And now we have a president in office that is crypto friendly, meaning that from his whole campaign in the beginning, he has promised that the United States would soon hopefully become the crypto capital of the world. Happy, 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 happy. Which obviously was beautiful news for me to hear. I am full support of crypto, blockchain, decentralization. I think it will severely benefit our society and our country. I think it will help with all the fraud, which I just keep talking about over and over and over and over and over again.
3 hours later.
On this show. But I think that Trump is making beautiful starts in crypto, if you will, with his World Liberty Financial Project. He launched his own meme coin, like his own Trump meme coin, which I think is really cool. And now he had a summit at the White House this past Friday, March 7th, where Coinbase, Kraken, some of the hugest crypto companies were getting together to talk about eventually forming a crypto reserve. And what would that entail if the crypto reserve was in fact in motion? What I think is incredibly beautiful about the crypto reserve is that Trump is taking all the Bitcoin that came from criminals and scams and fraud schemes. The whole point of the show is to stop criminals, scams, fraud schemes in the crypto and FX market. What Trump is doing is he's collecting all the Bitcoin that was basically forfeited from criminals, from scammers, from pyramid schemes, from illegitimate exchanges, all this stuff like FTX, all these people. Trump is collecting, the government and the federal agencies are collecting the Bitcoin from these people and using it towards the crypto reserve, which I think is a brilliant idea. Number one, why it's brilliant is because taxpayers don't have to pay anything for this reserve to exist. It's already Bitcoin that is possessed by the government, that's possessed by Trump's administration, if you will. So for people out here that are like, oh, well, I don't really believe in crypto, or crypto needs to be more regulated, or crypto's just all a scam, or it's just all speculation, or there's no legitimacy in the market, you don't have to put a dime to it. If you don't believe in it as a taxpayer, you don't have to put a dime to it. It's already in motion based off all the injustices that have happened, which I think is so brilliant. Yes, let's take all the Bitcoin that was wrongfully used and let's collect it as a government and let's use it for our reserve. So now, like I was just telling you guys, we still do, but we still do. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to say that the oil reserves that we have, or the petroleum reserves that we have, or the gold reserves that we have, all tangible items, tangible assets. Now we're having a digital reserve. So the value of Bitcoin, how many Bitcoin are we going to have in the reserve? We're basically creating a digital stockpile, if you will, of some of the top cryptocurrencies, which we're going to go over which cryptocurrencies are going to be in Trump's reserve for his term, this next 4 years, and hopefully so on, but guaranteed these next 4 years. We're going to be talking about the cryptocurrencies that are in the reserve and a few more details about it, so you guys are familiar about what's going on, because when we talk about current news today, it's gonna take a majority of the show to talk about current news. Like I said, Coinbase's lawsuit was kind of like a walk in the park compared to Binance. There is so much going into Binance. Speaking into crypto reserves, I think Trump starting a crypto reserve is the most brilliant thing he could do, because we are getting a hedge against our competitors in regards to technology. We are getting a hedge in regards to the American people receiving justice and fairness again. How many times have you been, like, I actually want to speak about something that I wasn't going to speak about on the show, but I think it's really important. I am a frequent user of Snapchat. I love using Snapchat, but I can't help but feel like on the spotlight section in Snapchat that some of my content is always extremely censored. It's extremely sensitive. It's like I post something and I'm not even posting anything crazy and it's like getting flagged, it's getting censored, it can't reach a lot of people. And listen to me when I say that social media platforms like Snapchat, like Instagram, they have the power because we are using their network. So they can surveillance us, they can monitor us, and unfortunately, with all the community guideline things that are going on now, it's like the community guidelines are getting out of hand. It's like, I see things that should be flagged that are not flagged, and then something simple that I'll post will get flagged. And it's like, why does one group of people like Snapchat or like Instagram getting the power to regulate what I am posting if we are supporting free speech in America? And that's what Donald Trump is trying to say, but also Elon Musk is trying to say that. So he bought X to preserve freedom of speech. And I post a ton of stuff on X and nothing has ever gotten censored or blocked or deleted, or, I mean, obviously they need to monitor the platform and I understand that, but their community guidelines are way more lax compared to like Snapchat or Instagram or some of these other companies. And it's like, that's because we're giving them control to monitor us. But anyways, so I think in regards to moving digitally, that will all get taken away. Like D apps will come and the users that are using D apps, which are just social media apps that are on Ethereum's blockchain, once people start using D apps, then for sure users that are using the D app can be in control of the policy. So more power to the people. If you are actually using, basically what it's saying is if you're using Snapchat, you're a user of Snapchat, you'd be able to vote in the policies of Snapchat, where Snapchat's going, what gets regulated and monitored on Snapchat. The people would be able to decide, not the company or the organization that's running it. It would decentralize that power and give it all back to us. So obviously that's not related to the crypto reserve, but Trump is crypto friendly because there are a lot of benefits that come with just buying and selling crypto, like the crypto reserve. So there is about $20 billion that is involved in the crypto reserve. And some of the biggest coins that are in it are Ethereum or Ether, Bitcoin, Solana, Cardano. Let me see if I missed any. And XRP, which next episode we are going to be talking about XRP. I have been seeing so many people post, oh, XRP is going to be $10,000. XRP is going to $10,000. XRP is going to $10. It's like, remember guys, what I told you about the market is be very careful to follow trends. Be very careful of following the get rich quick mentality that is very, very unfortunately pushed onto people. Be careful about, oh, I need to dump all this money into XRP because it's going to blow up in 2025. And it's like, hold for the long term. Crypto is a very volatile market, which in regards to crypto reserves, we're going to talk about how the crypto reserves might need to be over collateralized because the market is so volatile, or maybe we need to hold on to more stable coins, etc. But the crypto market is very volatile. So if you are getting involved in the crypto market and you're watching these people, and no shame to anybody who's teaching or talking about crypto, like it's a very new market and I respect anybody out here teaching about it, but you just need to be very careful about following the trends and following the get rich quick schemes. And there's just no guarantee in the market. It's very volatile, it's very unpredictable. So put a good little chunk of money in and hold it for the long term. If XRP truly has potential and it's scalable, then holding for the long term would be the best bet for you, especially with Ethereum 2, with all the dApps and Ethereum 2.0 coming out already and all the advancements that we've seen, especially with social media and then marketplaces on Ethereum. It's like, hold for the long term and wait it out, because crypto is such a new market. It's like, you could put $1,000 into XRP, but there's no guarantee that it's going to go to $10,000 unless more people in society see Ripple, which is the payment processing network, and XRP is its coin. Unless more people believed in Ripple and use Ripple, then it's going to be very hard to see XRP appreciate in value, if you will. So just be very mindful of that. That's also I'm not saying it's a scam or it's fraud or you can't trust those people. But you really need to be careful about who is educating you about the market, and you should always go in your portfolio, especially with crypto, a little more reserved, a little more conservative, if you will, in regards to what you're buying and how much you're putting in, just because the common fear is that you put $10,000 into Bitcoin, and because it's so volatile and it's only backed by supply and demand, you soon realize that all that money you put into it it's depreciated and it's only worth about like 2 pieces of gum. So that's the biggest fear, and that's why I always suggest to anybody that's watching, put a little bit of your money into crypto. Put a little bit of your money into XRP, Solana, some of these other coins that we'll soon be going over in the podcast, but put a little bit of money and wait over time, and then you can, and as you build trust with Ethereum or with Bitcoin or with XRP, then you can put some more money into it, but just don't go nosediving deep and realizing, oh my God, I just invested so much money into something I'm not quite sure about yet, and not falling into those traps and those schemes of, yeah, XRP's going to 10 grand, it's going all the way, like we gotta follow me, we gotta do this, and just,
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it.
hold out, have insight, use your discernment, and make the correct choices for you. So in regards to the crypto reserves, let's talk about some feedback from some of the biggest people in the crypto industry. What do some people in the crypto industry think about the crypto reserve? Wyoming Republican... Why? This has been such a tongue twister.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Wyoming Republican Senator Cynthia Loomis thinks that it could be a potentially good idea to have a crypto reserve. She actually introduced a federal bill to create the Bitcoin reserve. Oh, but what I was talking about is that, so if we have a crypto reserve, I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, guys, just bear with me. I forgot to mention this, but if we have a crypto reserve, do we need to over-collateralize our assets? Do we need to over-collateralize the amount of crypto that we have? So just for example, saying that $1 equals one piece of gold. Obviously, crypto is such a volatile market. It's not stable. There are some stable coins, but a majority of it, like Bitcoin, etc., can be very volatile. So we can't say one to one for that. And especially if the market is moving and it's only backed by supply and demand, there's really no guarantee. So what I'm saying is that, do we need to over collateralize the amount of crypto that we have in our reserves? Meaning that, do we need more than is expected? My answer and opinion is yes. I think absolutely we're going to have to over collateralize the amount of crypto that we think we need, just because the market is so volatile that if we do go into a recession or a natural disaster and we need that digital cash, because basically Bitcoin is digital cash. What we're reserving is digital cash. We're reserving money, if you will, in a digital sense. And we are just going to need an extra cushion of what is expected in order for the crypto reserve to actually be successful. Because if we just we have 20 billion, but I'm saying if we just like put 10 billion and we're like, yeah, that should be fine. And then we see the market depreciate immensely, or it hits an extreme low solely due to supply and demand, then we're kind of in trouble. It's kind of like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but think about corn. It's like, if we bought X amount of corn and we're like, yeah, this corn will hold us over, we'll be totally fine. And then we realize that there is a war on corn and there's a disease infecting corn and all of corn. If you eat corn, it gets contaminated and you turn into a zombie and a whole entire apocalypse happens. And then we're short on the good corn and all the bad corn is taking over. It's the same thing for Bitcoin. It's the same thing for the crypto reserve. If something goes wrong in crypto, or we just, we don't see any value in it anymore, or we're seeing too much value in it, whatever it may be, I think it's brilliant and a good idea to over collateralize the amount that we have. Basically, so if we were X amount of trillion in debt, then we need X amount of crypto to pay it off, plus some as a protection, an over collateralization, just in case shit hits the fan. Pretty much, just in case if shit hits the fan, we are backed and we have enough crypto to beat out the volatility that's happening. All right. Last thing I want to say is that Tyler Winklevoss, who co-founded crypto exchange Gemini, said that he only thinks that Bitcoin is suitable for the reserve. I kind of relate and understand and partially agree with what he's saying, because Bitcoin is kind of like digital gold. There's only 21 million Bitcoin that could be sent out there. Every 4 years, the halving occurs, so the incentive for Bitcoin reduces significantly every 4 years. So I think Bitcoin could essentially become a digital gold, if you will, and the only issue is being able to back its value, pretty much, because gold, we know, is a tangible item. You used to be able to have X amount of dollars for X amount of gold, and now we're kind of trying to do that with Bitcoin as a reserve. I don't think that it's bad that we're going to have XRP and other cryptocurrencies involved, but I know that Bitcoin has lasted the longest. It's shown to be potentially the most valuable, other than Ethereum. Ethereum, I would say, is another huge one, because it's so scalable and there's endless possibilities in Ethereum besides just buying and selling Ether. But I think Bitcoin could potentially be the next digital gold or digital cash. Seeing value in it is up for the public to decide. Brian Armstrong, who is the CEO of Coinbase, said that he is in favor of the crypto reserve, and he's actually in favor of having a variety of crypto assets, just in case if more people are interested in XRP, or if they use Ripple, or they're much more invested in dApps on Ethereum's blockchain than they are using Bitcoin or trading Bitcoin. They have the ability to do that. And I agree with that as well. I see both sides. I see how Bitcoin can become digital gold, but I also see how other cryptocurrencies have a chance based off their need in the market. And I think there is a need for Ethereum. I think there can be a need for institutions and financial businesses, banks, government, etc., in regards to transferring money with each other by using XRP or using the Ripple network. So I do think that there should be more opportunities in the crypto reserve, 100%. But that's not to say that I don't agree with not using only the most popular or the most long-lasting crypto. So I don't think we should be putting in any crazy altcoins that like might have potential, might have possibilities. I think we should only be putting in pretty much exactly what Trump put into the crypto reserve, which is some of the biggest cryptocurrencies like we just talked about. All right, we're going to get into current news. If I missed anything that I wanted to mention in the crypto reserve, or if you guys have a question, obviously on Spotify, you can comment directly below, and you can comment on social media if you have any questions, and we will get them answered for you. But anything that I missed that I feel like I should have included will be on the video, so make sure to check out the video on YouTube or Spotify, or even some short clips on social media like now. But obviously, if you're looking to see the full video footage, it would be on YouTube or Spotify. And for the current news, buckle up, homies, because we are talking about the Binance lawsuit. If you have not been here, we have been doing a series of lawsuits in the cryptocurrency world in regards to Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and figuring out what has been going on with the SEC. Last week, we talked about the Coinbase lawsuit. This week, we're going to be talking about the Binance lawsuit. And then following week, we'll talk about Kraken and understand these lawsuits and truly what is going on in the crypto market that is preventing crypto from moving forward, which is, again, another intent of this podcast. So, Binance back in 2023 was sued by the SEC for a plethora of reasons. So one of the biggest reasons was similar to Coinbase. So when we went over Coinbase last week, we talked about that Coinbase's lawsuit was because the SEC was claiming that Coinbase did not register as a securities broker. The only issue in that is that there was conflict due to there not being specific categorization in the law, in the federal law, about what crypto was. Was it securities? Was it a commodity? What are we classifying this under? The SEC had not made that clear yet, and that was Coinbase's debate. So the SEC was saying, hey, you're not registered as a securities broker, and Coinbase was saying, well, we would, but we don't know what to classify exactly under. You haven't made that clear to us. So anyways, with Trump's new administration, we saw the crypto summit this past Friday, and we're seeing all the big companies in crypto like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, maybe Binance, I don't know after we talk about this lawsuit, but we're seeing big crypto organizations, companies have a second chance and a fresh start in the crypto market to bring crypto the justice it deserves. I've been saying this for so long, but finally giving crypto the chance it needs to succeed. Trump is willing and offering that. And so Coinbase's case has been dismissed. But Binance, guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Looking into the Binance lawsuit, it is not good, and that's the only way to say it simply. But the Binance lawsuit is similar. The SEC is for this reason only, and there's many other things, but SEC is claiming that Binance is not registered as a securities broker, or it is just an unregistered exchange, meaning that it has not registered with the SEC and it's basically doing business unlawfully, if you will. However, there is so much more to the story. So back in 2019, there was speculation that Binance was using funds shadily, being suspicious, like it could have been scam, could have been fraud, money laundering. There's something going on there. So for a while, US customers were restricted from using Binance.com. So the CEO of Binance, which I'm just going to put on the video because I'm totally going to butcher their name, and I'm going to save us all the cringe of me doing that. But so Binance CEO said that, okay, we're going to have two separate entities. We're going to have Binance.com that we're going to run, and then we're going to have Binance USA or Binance US. And Binance US will be run by a total different entity, a total different company, will operate for the United States. The only issue there is that the SEC put in the lawsuit that they were seeing throughout the years from 2019 to now that the CEO of Binance.com was being very selective about US clients and customers still using Binance.com. So if there were certain US customers that had larger amounts of assets or larger amounts of crypto, if you will, then they would still be operating on Binance.com and not Binance US. So the SEC was saying that the CEO of Binance was basically running and monitoring both companies, even though they said that they were both separate entities. So this is interesting. And also in the lawsuit, they were saying that Binance is not being transparent to investors. They're not being transparent about market moves. They're not being transparent about market surveillance. They're not being transparent about customer funds. There was just a lot of speculation about suspicious behavior happening on Binance and questioning the CEO's motive.
Who do they think they are? I've given the best years of my life to this place and they think they can just fire me like that? Like trash? I don't think so.
SpongeBob?
Okay.
Is that you?
I've been waiting for you, Patrick!
Which maybe we all just have PTSD from what happened with FTX and other huge crypto companies going under and their exchanges not being legit, whatever it may be. Maybe we just have some trauma, but I'm not discrediting what's going on with Binance. I'm just saying that we are all extra cautious now, which we should be, but Binance is definitely under fire. So they're under fire for those three things: dishonesty with customers, and not being two separate entities for US customers and other customers in Binance having two separate businesses, if you will, run by two different management teams. There's speculation that things are not what they seem there. And also not being a registered securities broker. So there's a lot going on there. Oh my God, but we're not even there yet. So then on October 7th, Hamas broke into Israel or invaded Israel, and there were like 250 hostages, like American hostages, and just so people died and things happened. And so there were 40 American victims, and one of those people, I'll mention them in the video, but filed a lawsuit against Binance, saying that Binance was not complying with federal terrorist laws in regards to buying and selling crypto. This person that filed the lawsuit, which by the way, Binance tried to dismiss it and the court did not dismiss it, which means that this case potentially could be moving forward to court, but they were saying that Binance basically was allowing Hamas and other terrorist groups to buy and sell and purchase crypto and fund their terrorist group. So the issue is that who filed the lawsuit is saying that Binance basically allowed crypto, I'm getting all worked up. Binance basically allowed terrorist groups like Hamas to profit and benefit their own terrorist group and their own terrorist motives. And like I said, the case did not get dismissed, so it could potentially be going to court. So just to recap here really quickly, we said that the Coinbase lawsuit, it was a concern of not being registered, but there was some untruthfulness in the law at the Biden administration, and the Biden administration was not in favor of crypto, and all these speculations and all these thoughts and conspiracies and theories. So the Coinbase lawsuit got dropped, and obviously now with the crypto summit, we know that crypto is moving forward, so Coinbase is still in good standing. Binance, however, is dealing with multiple different issues that are more CEO related, I would say, and less to do with, if the SEC is not categorizing crypto yet. This is like much deeper and is very troubling. And apparently, like I said, there's been speculation or issues of, concerns and suspicion of Binance since 2019. So it's been 6 years now, and then everything that happened with Hamas in 2023 on October 7th, and so Binance is like a total different story. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this lawsuit, because this lawsuit is currently put on hold. It's been put on hold in the meantime, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to be dropped or settled. There are a lot of things that are going into it. So I want to hear what you guys think, and obviously I'll post updates about the case. If something got updated in the lawsuit, I will definitely touch upon it and talk about it to you guys. But This is crazy. So far we have Coinbase in good standing. Binance, I'm not so sure. We have a crypto summit. We have crypto reserves coming to life. Finally, I think our society is giving crypto the chance to become the United States of America, which would be the crypto capital of the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment. Please leave a review if you watched us today. Please let me know what you think of the show. Before you go, we have our first guest speaker coming on to the show. I am so excited. We are going to be debating crypto and the potential problems in crypto. How can we help crypto evolve in society? How can we normalize this? What are the potential solutions? We are going to be talking to our first guest speaker on March 22nd. Well, I will. It will come out on March 24th for you guys. I am so excited. Please stay tuned to listen. And if you are somebody who is a crypto enthusiast and you want to talk about crypto, and you don't even need to be a professional, I am just gathering feedback from everybody in the market. Anybody in the know, anything that you want to say about crypto, definitely come on to the show. We want to hear from you.
I'm out of here.